Hi, I'm Steve from Toys in the Hood. Today I'm going to take a look at the new Imperial Knights Codex. So this morning I ran down to Warhammer World at 10 o'clock as it opened, and I've picked up my new. I've got my new Imperial Knight and I've got the new Codex. I'm not going to bother with an unboxing of the Imperial Knight just yet. I think there's plenty of those on the internet, but I will take a look at the Imperial Knight Codex. Okay, so to begin with. It's hardback codex, 64 pages I think, £25, and yeah, so it's cheaper than the other codexes, but it's also smaller. You can see I've not had a read through this yet. Nor will I ever if I can't open it. Here we go. So. As with all of the codexes at the moment, big bright front cover with a single man on. Although in this case it's a giant war machine, so I guess a bit different, but pretty fantastic artwork there. Although I think we've seen that on the front of a White Dwarf, and certainly around the internet for a bit now. Although that might be because it looks like the box set. In fact, if I just there you go, the paint schemes, they're not exactly dissimilar. Okay, so Imperial Knights, a tale of honour, courage and solitude. I'm really excited, actually, before we go on to this, I'm really excited about Imperial Knights. When I started playing, got into the whole Games Workshop hobby, it was Epic that first drew me in, or rather Space Marine as it was at the time. And a couple of years after that, Titan Legions came out as a box set. And I remember, I think it was an Easter holiday it came out, my friend and I, we were just waiting for it to come out, really excited, sat at home, waiting for it to turn up at the post, and we did, and we ripped the models off the sprues, and we were playing, within 20 minutes of it turning up, Orcs versus Imperial Knights. It was absolutely brilliant. Okay, so the normal full colour artwork. There seems to be a certain style of artwork. They're going through with their images now. The background, foundation of the Night Worlds, the Age of Strife, notable Night Worlds. Again, these guys have been in the background forever, and they seem to have fallen away in the last 10 years, and 10 years, maybe 15 years, and now they've really seemed to have come back, which is brilliant. So we've got the heraldic symbolism, the free blades, which I believe the knights are in houses, and they're allied with the Adeptus Mechanicus. Free blades, I believe, are mercenary knight houses who go and fight for other people. So there's a few of the major houses detailed there. Obviously, I'll read this later. Some full colour pictures here. I like these. It's got a very Imperial armour feel to it, where you see the front picture of the model, and they've coloured it in lots of the same image with different heraldry, which is great inspiration when painting. I've got a Red Scorpion army, and I've often sat there with the Imperial armour book in front of me, trying to get the markings as close as possible to that. So this is nice. There's a couple of clans here. Okay, we've got Griffith, Hawkshroud, Raven. With Griffith and Raven, I think I half expect now to find, what would it be? It would be Slytherin and whatever the fourth one is that no one really cares about. There's House Tyrannus, House Crass. So lots of ideas for colour schemes. Famous free blades. Then a timeline, all full colour, and some full colour images there. Of course, there's basically one Imperial Knight model, and they've managed to make a book out of it. I say personally, I think that's quite cool. We've got some Imperial Knights walking alongside Imperial Guard. And here's the actual rules. Okay, so to begin with, so we're 58 pages in. The first 58 pages have all been background and images. Here we've got, this looks like the super heavy rules. Movement, stomping, destroyers. Yeah, so this is just a a tied up version. Of course, we've already seen the super heavy rules in Apocalypse, and then they were in Escalation. I guess now they're here again to help us add them into our games of 40k. I say, if you didn't have this, it'd probably be a bit mean to expect you to buy an £85 kit, £40 rulebook, £25 army list, and then Escalation on top of it, just to be able to play with a knight in regular 40k. Okay, they've got their own force organisation chart. 2 troops, a HQ, fortification, Imperial Knight detachment. Knights may be taken as whenever you choose an army, they may be taken as allies. Okay, and we'll get the rules for fielding Imperial Knights as a primary detachment later on. Sorry, just to pause while I actually read it, to see if you can have other super heavies with it as well, because this force organisation doesn't allow for a Lord of War. Maybe that's just because the Escalation rules are regarded as optional. Imperial Knights allies. Right, you can't ally with Necrons, Chaos, which is funny because there's definitely some knights that have fallen to Chaos. Yeah, Chaos Demons, Necrons, Orcs, and Tyranids. You can't ally with those. They're battle brothers with what looks like all of the Space Marines, the Imperial Guard, and the Sisters of Battle there. They're allies of convenience with Eldar and Grey Knights. And they are desperate allies with Dark Eldar and Tau. Okay, so you can fit them into most, apart from I guess it's the Chaos ones that you really feel they're missing out there. Hopefully we'll see Forge World do some sort of conversion set or something for that. Okay, here's the rules for the Knight Paladin and the Knight Errant. Very quick look at that. It's basically the same as White Dwarf. 375 points and 370 points. Maybe one of those has crept up. I'm not sure, I'll have to check that later. Because 375 points means if you're looking at a 1500 point army, you can just squeeze 4 of them in there. Bit new having the description with the points in the corner as well. It's not a normal army list and that. Oh, and quite literally, we've run out of book. So the last page here, this is Imperial Knights armies. You may take an army where the primary detachment is making up of 3 to 6 Imperial Knights. If you do so, then it must include a Knight Warlord. No other restrictions apply. Okay, so I guess this is the rules that are different from White Dwarf. We've not seen these before. We've not seen the Ally Matrix. The knightly ranks, you can include Knights Apparent or Seneschals in the game. Knights Apparent would be knights who are just starting out. Seneschals are more experienced knights. All you do is roll a dice for everyone except your Warlord. On a roll of a 1, you get subtract 1 from the knight's weapon skill and ballistic skill. His Ion Shield is also worse at 5+. The 2 to 5, it's a standard knight, and at 6 it's a Seneschal. The Seneschal add 1s to his weapon skill, 1 to his ballistic skill, and a 3+ invulnerable save instead of 4+. I don't know if I'd roll on that, to be honest. I think the odds of being good are just as good as the odds of being bad, and yeah, I don't think I'd want. I think the 4+ invulnerable save is quite a makes your opponent think. Whereas a 5+ invulnerable save, I'd be a lot more inclined to just shoot at that arc and try my luck if I was playing against knights. And then Knight Warlord rules. Of course, we've got Warlords. Right now, they receive a Warlord trait rolled on the Knights table, so they don't roll on the normal tables at all. Before, all the other races, I think it's all the other races, you get the option of rolling on either their race Warlord trait, or you get the option of rolling on the Warlord traits in the 40k rulebook. Let's see, so the first one, Master of the Hunt. The Warlord, all Imperial Knights within 12 inches. They add 1 to their distance when they run or charge. That's kind of cool. Fearsome Reputation. the enemy units within 12 inches of the Knight Warlord must use their lowest leadership value, not the highest. Now, I believe, if I just flick back, that yeah, they cause fear. So, so that's going to be quite handy. Master of the Joust, they reroll to hit rolls in any assault phase in which he successfully charges. Kind of cool. Master of the Field, the Knight Warlord and up to D3 Imperial Knights have the outflank rule. So almost your entire army can outflank there. The again, not sure how useful that is. Super Heavies can move. Super Heavy Walkers can move 12 inches, so you should be able to close the distance pretty quickly. The Master of the Siege, Knight Warlord and all friendly units within, all friendly knights within 12 inches, add 1 to rolls they make on the building damage table. And then Indomitable, the Knight Warlord has the it will not die special rule, so he'll be able to heal hull points back over the game. So that's kind of cool actually as a Warlord traits table, I think. Bearing in mind that the model that's getting better is already a super heavy knight. It's a fun line. Also, your Warlord always has the rank of Seneschal. So your Warlord always has +1 weapon skill, +1 ballistic skill, and the 3+ invulnerable save. So I think I'd always, well, you'd always want a Warlord there. Right, quick look at the two. So there's basically, at 1500 points, I think there's 5 army builds you can make. Because you're limited, you can only take 4 units. So you can take 4 Knight Paladins, 4 Knights Errants. You can take 3 of one and 1 of the other. And then you can take 2 of each. And that's your combination. So yeah, 5 army builds. There's no weapon options here. There's nothing like that. You either pick Knight Paladins, Knight Errants, one of which will be your Warlord. The real difference between the two of them is one of them is armed with a rapid fire battle cannon. That's strength 8, AP3, 72-inch range, ordnance weapon, large blast, fires 2 shots. The Knight Errant has a 36-inch range, strength 9, AP1, large blast with a melter rule. Basically, the difference is the Knight Paladin is ideal for taking out massive amounts of troops. The AP3 will wipe out Space Marines. Strength 8 is instant death to most creatures. Certainly will wipe out a fair few Tyranid Warriors and things with that. And the range is 72 inches. Strength 8, it's still going to give vehicles a bit of a beating as well, although it might take you a while to get through Land Raiders. You might find you're better off assaulting with those. In Assault, you've got 3 attacks, plus your Hammer of Wrath, which will give you a free Strength 10 hit when you charge in, plus a Reaper Chainsword, which is, your Reaper Chainsword is a destroyer weapon. So that will wipe most things out instantly. They don't get invulnerable saves, they'll take more than 1 wound. In fact, I'll just quickly show you the chart. So the destroyer weapon, against a non-vehicle, you roll a d6 to wound. If you roll a 1, nothing happens. A 2 to 5, he loses d3 plus 1 wounds. Now that wipes out most character models. Or devastating hit, which is a death blow, which is d6 plus 6 wounds. So I mean I can't think of anything that's got more than 6 wounds, apart from other gargantuan creatures. Okay, so the thermal cannon is strength 9, AP1. AP1 makes it ideal for Terminators, anything Centurions, I think, are 2+, Obliterators, wipe those out. Strength 9, I think it's fairly marginal difference between strength 8 and strength 9. Key thing being it's got the melter rule, so if you're shooting at a target within 18-inch range, then you get Armor Bane, so you get 2d6 armor penetration rather than 1d6. So your Knight Errant's your tank destroyer, your Knight Paladin is there to deal with troops. Right, what else to say? So I think, yeah, personally, I'd be quite up for playing some games against these guys. I think it could be really good fun. It's very different. And I think I'd be a bit annoyed if my opponent suddenly sprung on me that he'd got an Imperial Knight armour as I'm unpacking my Tyranids. But with a bit of notice, so I can make sure I've got a couple of heavy weapons in there, maybe the odd, maybe my own super heavies. I'd love to see a Harridan fight against these guys. The only thing against flyers, these guys are really going to struggle. The weapons they fire are blast weapons, mostly, or at least the big guns are, which means they'll only be, they won't be able to shoot flyers, they won't be able to fire snapshots. So you'll be able to run circles around them. They'll have to attack with a heavy stubber to take you down, and even when you've done that, because of the way split fire works, they won't be able to take you down with a heavy stubber and then use their thermal cannon or battle cannon. One knight will have to take you down with a heavy stubber. The other knight will then have to use his weapons on you. So that could be one way of countering it. 6 hull points, I guess the traditional way, surrounded by melter guns, fire dragons, stern guardian drop pods. They're all going to take these things down. To be honest, it strikes me, if you know one's coming in an army, then you could probably quite easily counter them. If you're not expecting one, if you're at a tournament and suddenly one's sat in front of you, then it could be a real struggle if you're not prepared for them. But I think it's going to be good fun finding out. I've certainly got one knight at the moment. I'll get him built up, put him with my red scorpions and see how that goes. And I may get a couple more. Right. So, just overall, the book, that's Codex Imperial Knights. It's 5 pages of rules. Oh no, I do it a disservice. I think there was 6. There were 7 pages of rules in there, 2 of which we've already seen in White Dwarf, 2 of which we've already seen in Escalation. That said, it's a beautiful book, full colour. I'm looking forward to reading the background this afternoon. Yeah, and let's see. I think that's me. So I hope you've enjoyed this flick through. I hope it's helpful for you, and I hope you're as excited as I am by Imperial Knights. I'm Steve. My YouTube channel is Toys in the Hood. If you want to subscribe to that, we're also on Facebook. If you just search for Toys in the Hood. I've got a website as well, toysinthehood.com, where we make t-shirts, gaming t-shirts that you might find of interest. And yeah, so thank you very much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed this.